Good morning, everyone. My name is Debbie Ray, and I'm the Global Account Manager for CRMGamified. That's a fancy way of saying that I'm the salesperson covering accounts globally. I started in this position selling gamification last April 2014. In the fall, I met some of you at the CRMUG Summit in St. Louis. We are a subsidiary of a larger Microsoft partner out of Uruguay. They are an agile development company with specialization in CRM. Pablo Peralta, who many of you know, pictured here in the middle in the pink shirt, our resident MVP, felt that we were punishing CRM users for their lack of adoption rather than rewarding for adoption. And so our first product, the Motivation Engine, was born, now in the market for 2.5 years. Subsequently, customers asked us for a broadcast leaderboard based on the same successful gamification ideas. And so we brought Hurrah Leaderboard to market last June. The company consists mainly of developers and those who implement our solutions, my manager who's focused on getting investments to move us through the startup phase, and myself, and I was not in that picture. To set the stage, I'd like to discuss some common business issues gamification addresses. While you listen today, you may think, this is something that could work in my organization. It has merit. I am hoping to illustrate to you that this is something beyond icing on the cake, and rather something most, if not all, organizations need to implement in order to be successful. The issues I'd like to focus on are employee engagement, improved business processes, empowerment at a local level, data quality, and return on investment. So let's talk about engagement. There's a lot in the news lately about engaged workers and how much a distracted or not fully engaged worker costs the organization. Gallup has put together some staggering statistics. Well, we all know already that employees are more distracted than ever, what with smartphones and Facebook, the internet at their desktops. They can look up the weather for the weekend or even go shopping while at work, all taking them away from the task at hand. Gallup published this information in a report called State of the American Workplace. It's a report they update regularly and have over the past 10 years. They've noted the lack of employee engagement is growing during this time period. They estimate that 70% of our workers are not reaching their full potential. They state further, if a company implements an engagement strategy versus a company that ignores what's before them, they are able to regain or re-engage 5 times more employees than a company that does nothing. Well, so what? What does that mean to anybody, to any company? Well, this level of distraction or lack of engagement has an ongoing cost associated with it. Again, we all know this intuitively as business people, but the cost is usually uncalculated and it takes away from the bottom line. Gallup has estimated that a company with more engaged workers, specifically 9 engaged to 1 distracted, has 147% higher earnings per share, which in my book is significant. They state, more importantly, that those with more disengaged workers, specifically 3 to 1, 3 engaged to 1 distracted, has a 2% lower earnings per share than their competition. Also very significant. All of this is to say organizations need to recognize this issue and make plans to engage their workforce in the mission of the company if they care about the bottom line and earnings per share. Gamification offers a strategy to engage workers. Business process engineering has been around a while, and it's common sense. Known business processes are essential to an organization's success. Now, many small and mid-sized businesses know their process or processes intuitively, but fail to articulate them in a written document. Most organizations complete a process document, but fail to further refine it over time. Understanding and refining the processes needs to be part of the organization's overall plan for success. And we all know this. You will not achieve your goals if you do not identify, change, and improve your process. Now, credit for this picture goes to my friend Rick McCutcheon, who many of you may know. And this sales process always scares me whenever he flashes it on the screen. But it gives you an idea why some are reluctant to revisit this. It's daunting, but it's necessary. It's not icing on the cake. We can all agree to that. And by reviewing processes regularly, you can find things out. Let's say like identifying that leads from your website have a higher conversion rate than trade show leads. As you follow through this process, you'll make a change in the process for getting good leads. Gamification asks you to revisit your business process regularly, but in a less daunting fashion and something less painful than rewriting a long, detailed documents. I went to my first convergence this year and I heard Satya Nadella speak. I furiously took notes as he said empowerment and described new systems of intelligence. These systems, using data from current systems of record like a CRM, will transform organizations, he said, into robust, data-saturated, nimble entities succeeding because of the ability to make well-timed decisions based on current and abundant information. Well, I listened with excitement as he described a broad system that empowers individuals and groups. And I realized it's what we at CRMGamified have been talking about for a while. After all, our motivation engine, though not yet a system of intelligence, not yet an interactive hologram, not yet a mood-sensing telephone, the motivation engine and Hurrah draw current data from Dynamics CRM and offer it to the user for decision-making. We are big believers in a quick feedback loop that empowers individuals to take a look at the data and make decisions in the immediate. Without the need for a weekly meeting or an emailed report, employees can know their status, their progress, and adjust their behaviors to achieve. And according to Nadella, this individual empowerment equals organizational transformation. So one of the main purposes of CRM is to provide data for decision making. And again, nothing new here. The decision making is only as good as the data entered. You knew I was going to say that. So with that, we uncover a big problem, and a problem that's rarely anticipated. Bad data helps decision makers to make poor quality decisions more quickly and confidently. Quality data is the prerequisite for a quality decision. And there are great methods and tools within CRM to address this. Tools such as account merging, address verification, spell checking, deduplication. But those tools are rarely used to their fullest. So gamification provides the impetus to use and succeed with those tools. Gamification offers an ongoing method to maintain good data hygiene and thus high quality data. Return on investment, such a great topic to discuss and debate, but difficult to measure because of the many moving parts. So whatever method an organization chooses to measure the return on investment for their CRM, gamification provides the insurance policy. You see here, they're promising a 243% return on investment in the sales arena of using Dynamics CRM. It's considered a standard best practice to ensure and protect big investments, to do everything possible to make it a success, to get the promised ROI. There are many things we wouldn't consider buying without buying an insurance policy to go along with it. Rather than invest $100,000, $500,000, $1 million in technology and then simply watch and wait, gamification is one method to ensure success and full return when deploying and using a CRM. So let's switch gears a bit and talk about how we approach gamification. Our gamification takes advantage of humans' innate need to feel successful on their own, to make progress, to be recognized, to feel they are contributing to the success of the group, to a greater cause. And this is nothing we invented. It's human nature and why online games are so successful. Online games are not only played by one demographic, but span the ages because people, all people, respond to the good feelings of success and progress. They don't necessarily care about the action of moving the candy from one side of the farm to the other, but they do care about competing with others around them and about making progress to the next level. Just like Employee of the Month. How many of us have known an Employee of the Month to work really hard because they really wanted that front parking spot? No, they didn't work really hard so they could have the front parking spot. They worked really hard so they could be recognized, so they could be successful and be rewarded for it. This psychology has been used well before online games became popular. In schools, in scouting, in frequent flyer programs, in green stamps. There are lots of examples we could cite. So we borrow a few elements from games like leaderboards, points, badges, and levels to provide data to people and empower them to make decisions for their own success. Now, something happens to people when they see themselves ranked against others in a group. Even the least competitive of us care and want to move up. Gamification works well for the mid to bottom of the list, teaching us what to do to be successful and climb the rankings. I am a seasoned salesperson who most would say is motivated solely by money. But it happened to me that on a Friday afternoon, my nemesis at work was ahead of me on the leaderboard. For my own personal pride and sense of accomplishment, I completed some activities I might have left until Monday to finish out the week ahead of him. Now, it's friendly competition. No one had to pay me extra. I wanted to do that for myself. Now, there are different ways to use gamification. If you're not in an individual-oriented competitive environment, the culture of the organization is more team-oriented, then teams can compete. A person feels great and works hard to help their team climb the leaderboard. One organization I know wanted to use avatars rather than have personal competitions, and it worked very well for them. In conclusion, I'd like to share a simple roadmap we at CRMGamified recommend. The first steps with CRM and gamification should be adoption. The adoption phase teaches us how to use and how to become good at CRM. We grow in expertise and personal pride in our accomplishments. We begin to engage. After adoption, we recommend moving to the engagement phase, in which we raise the bar, in which personal success graduates into group success, in which mastery and understanding of the goals assigned are clearly communicated and through gamification are rewarded and accomplished, which necessarily leads to overall success, both personal, group, and organizational. In the success phase, we keep raising the bar. We keep tweaking processes, empowering individuals and groups, and thus adding to the bottom line of the organization. Thank you very much for listening. I very much appreciate your time.